Cool. So my name is Jonathan Bossenger. I work for a company called Automatic. We are the company that owns WordPress.com, WooCommerce.com, Jetpack, and a whole bunch of other WordPress-related products. So a reviewer is a person who has spoken before and has possibly stupidly offered to volunteer to help select the next round of speakers. Ideally someone who has spoken before, so they've been through the process, they've been accepted, so they know how to look at the speaker submissions and kind of cast a good eye on what would work for DevConf and what wouldn't. A speaker is somebody who has decided to share their story with DevConf, and they are possibly nervous and possibly stressed. That to me is the difference. It was my first time reviewing because it was my first time speaking last year at DevConf. And as a first time reviewer, I was pleasantly surprised at the number of submissions. As others have mentioned, 600 plus submissions. And what I found quite interesting was that the speaker review process involves a blind selection and then rating the talks, but then also once the talks that are clearly not meant for DevConf have been filtered out, then filtering that down and then having to review talks that are really, really good against each other. And I found that process to be very hard because you've got 3 talks that are perfect and you have to pick one and rate them. And so it's can be quite stressful, but it is I find it very rewarding to then see some of those talks that I really, really liked and was looking forward to, and I think would make a good talk for DevConf coming up and being on stage and being amazing. So it was a really, really interesting and fun process, and I look forward to doing it. So the one talk that I was very interested to see happen, that did happen, it was the talk, I can't remember the lady's name, but it was the talk about web application security. JC, I think is her first name. I missed the beginning of her talk, so I missed her full name. But it's a very important talk that not a lot of boot camps and places where you're learning to code discuss. They don't talk about web security, they don't talk about tools that you can use to test your application for security vulnerabilities. So every time that talk came up, I was like, I want to see that talk, I want to see that talk. And it was in the biggest hall here today, and as far as I could see, that talk was packed, so everybody else agreed it was a great talk. So that was really cool to see a talk that I was really passionately keen to see happen and be so well supported and all that. So that was my highlight, I think, for today. I was fortunate to be able to also join a panel today where one of the panelists was one of the reviewers. He's also a speaker, and 2 of the speakers who got through the process, and they kind of shared some of their story, and Chris, the reviewer, shared what he looks for. And that was cool because I could he's an experienced speaker and reviewer, and I could kind of ask him questions about things that I wasn't sure of, and it turns out he did exactly the same thing, so I know that works. But also there were some things that I was doing that I could have improved upon and done things slightly differently, so I was able to get that feedback from him.